Hi everyone, and welcome back to Anne's Family Recipe. It's finally fall, which is my absolute favorite season, and of course we have to make something with pumpkin. So today we're making pumpkin chocolate chip cake squares. As soon as September 22nd hits, this is the first recipe I make to celebrate the fall season. This recipe is from the Martha Stewart Everyday Food magazine, which is something that my mom bought me a subscription to when I was back in college. So every month I would get a new cooking magazine, and it was my favorite piece of mail to get. So I've been making this recipe for almost 15 years now. It's tried and true, and it's delicious. So let's get started. So for this recipe, you'll need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Then I have a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice, a teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. In this big bowl, I have a 1.25 cups of granulated sugar and 2 sticks of butter that I've brought to room temperature. They're nice and soft. And lastly, you'll need a cup of pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie filling, just plain pumpkin puree, because of course we're seasoning up ourselves with sugar and the pumpkin pie spice. 1 egg, and then we'll use 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. First, I'll whisk my dry ingredients together. So to my flour, I'll add the pumpkin pie spice, baking soda, and salt. And I like to make my own pumpkin pie spice. It's a mix of cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and cloves. But it's nice to be able to make your own blend, because then you can customize it with the different seasonal flavors that you like the best. So we'll just whisk this together to remove any lumps. Next, I'm going to use my electric hand mixer to mix together my 2 sticks of softened butter with the 1.25 cups of sugar. So we'll mix it for a couple minutes till it's light and fluffy. To our butter and sugar, we're going to add our cup of pumpkin puree, 1 egg, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So we'll do 1. And then we'll mix that all together. Next, we'll add our dry ingredients a little bit at a time, just so it doesn't make a big cloud of flour everywhere, and we'll incorporate them together with our hand mixer. The last ingredient that I'm going to add to the mixture that I forgot to mention at the beginning is one of our star ingredients, the mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. So we're going to use a full 12-ounce bag. I'll pour that into our batter, and then I'm going to use my fall spatula, which I love, to incorporate it. So we'll just gently mix that all together to get those chocolate chips spread throughout. I have a 9 by 13 inch glass baking dish here that I've completely lined with aluminum foil, and I sprayed it a little bit too with baking spray, just so nothing sticks. When the cake squares are done baking, it'll be really easy to just lift them out of the pan, and we'll have a clean baking dish that we don't even have to wash. So I'm just adding the batter into the pan, and then we'll spread it out evenly with our spatula. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees, so I'm going to bake our pumpkin chocolate chip cake squares for about 35 to 40 minutes, but I'm definitely going to start checking them after about 30 minutes. You just want to be able to stick a toothpick or like a bamboo skewer into the cake, and when you pull it out, there'll be just a couple of moist crumbs on there. My pumpkin chocolate chip cake squares baked for about 30 minutes in my oven at 350 degrees. I let them cool completely, and it was very easy to just take them out of the pan since it was lined with foil. So you can see I've been sampling them a little bit. They're fabulous, but I'm going to try another one now. I like to cut them into tiny little bite-sized squares, and just to be clear, they're definitely a cake-like texture. It's not going to be like a brownie or a bar cookie, but that's what I love about them, because as much as I love pumpkin bread, these are even more moist and not quite as dense. It's just a fabulous dessert to have in the fall. So let's try another one. And of course, this is tiny, so I'll probably eat about 20 of these. I'm not really great with portion control, but I try. So let's see how it tastes. Definitely my favorite fall dessert. And it's not too pumpkin-y. It's more of that pumpkin spice flavor. And the mix that I use is wonderful because you get that little hint of ginger in the background. I just love it. And I really think you will too. I also wanted to let you know that even though this recipe only uses 1 cup of pumpkin puree, so you're probably going to be left over with about another cup to a cup and a half in your can of pumpkin puree, don't get rid of it. There's so many other things you can do with it, and I'm going to tell you about them later this month. So I'll see you soon in my kitchen for more family recipes. For the full recipe, check the description box below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen.